Who ordained Pastor Chris into ministry? Who is the spiritual father of the man of God, Pastor Chris?
The son of the family, the son of this ministry, a son indeed.
I am his legacy. He said, follow me.
First of all, we need to understand that the ordination into ministry is not a call into ministry. It is the validation and the confirmation of the call. So there are three ways people are called into ministry, and I'll explain that to you today, and I'll prove it to you with the man of God, right? The first one is a direct call from God. People who fall into this category are Elijah, John the Baptist, Moses. They had a direct encounter with the Lord, and then they got into ministry. So they did not have to be ordained by a man of God or anybody else. Number two is through the service of the anointing. Right, through the service of the anointed. So people who fall into this category are Joshua, who served Moses, right? We have Elisha, who served Elijah, and of course we have Samuel, who served Eli, right? So this is the second way people are called into the ministry, because a lot of people sometimes begin to question the ministries of other people. And that is inappropriate, because God does not have to please you when he wants to call somebody else. He can call anybody into ministry the way he wants to call the person into ministry. Now, the third way to be called into ministry is through service in the house of the Lord. So you have pastors who serve in the house of God, right? Those ones who are ordained to serve in the house of God. Some of those I can think about here, maybe Matthias, Stephen, and some few of them, right? You do not determine how you were called into the ministry of the Lord. The Lord determines that. So you might try as much as possible to try to pioneer a ministry, but then if you do not have that calling, it's not going to work. It will not be backed up by the Spirit of God. It's important to know this before I say what I have to say about the man of God. Now, talking about the man of God, the birth of the man of God was prophesied many years ago by his grandfather. The man of God gave his heart to Christ at the age of 9. Think about it. At that time, I'm not sure of what I was doing. The man of God started his first crusade at the age of 15, right? You see, these things are significant to understand the call of God upon his life. So at the age of 15, he had started a crusade. He had begun to work in the miraculous. Some of us had to work on our faith to get there. Like, he was already prepared by the Spirit of God. What a privilege. What a rare privilege, because he's the only one with such stories. So the man of God, according to what he said to us, he shook his secondary school with the gospel. He shook his university in the campuses those days with the gospel, and he's still shaking the world today. The man of God is one of the most criticized men of God in the world. That proves that he was specially called by God, right? Now the question is, who is the spiritual father of the man of God, Pastor Chris, or who ordained Pastor Chris into ministry? I would want you to watch this video, and when you do, then we'll talk more about it.
He's coming up now to say one or two, whatever he wants to say. If he wants to preach, let him preach. A son indeed. I want you to stand on your feet. And please welcome the son of the family, the son of this ministry, the son of Archbishop Benson Idahosa, Reverend Dr. Chris Oyakhilome.
So first of all, you see, the Archbishop Margaret Idahosa called him a son of the ministry. So it's something you've got to note, okay? Watch this.
I'm one grateful person, just one among so many. I'm just a grateful person. Grateful for many things. Firstly, for what and who the Archbishop Benson Idahosa was to me. When I was coming here, I thought about the legacy of the Archbishop. And I've always had in my mind, I'm his legacy. Now, today is 10th of March. It'll be in 2 days from now, 12th of March, transited from here. He said to me, before the 14th of March, this was December. He was speaking with me in December. And he called his secretary and said, where's your card? She came out with a card. He wrote something on it. He said again to me, remember, before the 14th of March, I said, yes, sir. Then I thought, does he know why he sent for me? Because he sent for me. I can give you all that story. But I was thinking, does he know why he sent for me? He said, follow me. So I followed him. He took me around and he kept saying, just for inspiration. Just for inspiration. And I followed him. And we went around and came back. I sat down. He said, let me pray for you. Kneel down. So I went on my knees, and I knew that was the reason he sent for me. Because years before, the Lord had told me what he was going to do. That on a particular occasion, he will call for me and he will do this. I didn't know when. But while I was there, he said, kneel down, let me pray for you. And he laid hands on me and spoke words of the Spirit. Prior to that time, when I was a young teenager, I worked at the office known as the National Office, Church of God Mission. And I used to see Fab, Frida, and the other ones, the other two girls, when with the white Toyota Crown, they'll go pick them from school. Yeah, I was there, just a young boy. And like Mama just said, every day in that office, I would be at the lounge looking at the pictures. Large miracles, wonders and signs. I would stare and stare and stare. I could see in my Bible the miracles. But you see, I only used imagination. Now the Archbishop had the pictures. I could see the pictures.
So now you just heard from the man of God how he worked for the ministry of Archbishop Benson Idahosa and how he served. From what he said, I'm not sure he served as a pastor or he served officially, because he said he was quite young. He was a teenager then, but he would go to serve, right? And then he now said the Archbishop called him later and began to speak words to him and laid hands on him. Now that's the only record the man of God had given about any man of God laying hands on him. Now in the next video, I'll tell you about the three men of God. The man of God wrote down that the Lord said will call him and reach out to him, right? So in a nutshell, this is just to let you know that if the man of God were to have a spiritual father, it will be Archbishop Benson Idahosa, according to his story. So I would like to know in the comment section what you think about this. While I did the study, I was also very wowed. So if you are wowed and you or have some other thought or you think you want to share with us, drop it on the comment section. Thank you so much. God bless you. Please do subscribe, share these videos to people who would have to watch it and be blessed. God bless you abundantly.